Hey, welcome everybody. It's all the work here. Just giving you a little rundown of the 2010 Hall of Fame. 2010 Hall of Fame. Who we got going in so far, and I think a little funny side note about one of the people going in this year. Quickly, we're going to go. Ted DiBiase Sr. is going in, who was a magnificent heel in the WWF in the 80s and 90s. A great babyface in the UWF, which is Bill Watts territory in Mid South. Actually, it was called at the time. Great babyface and great heel, and it's somebody that I believe deserves to go into the Hall of Fame this year. Also, Tony Inoki is going in this year, who Japanese legend, had a little impact, but enough impact in the States where he's pretty well known. Uh, Wrestling Muhammad Ali, and also I believe defeating Bob Backlund for the WWF World Title back in the 80s. Tony Inoki started, I believe, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and just really great thing to see. And it's going to be very interesting to see his speech and what he says going in. Also, the funny one, Wendy Richter going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. If you don't know the backstory behind Wendy Richter leaving the WWE, was some kind of argument dispute over contract or something along those lines. In 1985 was the original screw job, where Wendy Richter was screwed out of the WWF women title. WWE, this whole EF thing is terrible. So you're gonna hear me slip up constantly. It's one of those things. So Wendy Richter got screwed. Fabulous Moolah put on a hood one night and defeated her for the women's title. Hasn't been much talk of her ever since then. Maybe a couple of name drop here and there, but it's gonna be really interesting to see her go in this year, especially being that Vince buried a hatchet between her and buried a hatchet, I guess, between him and Bret Hart as well. It must be the year of forgiveness in the WWE and Vince McMahon and his screw jobs. It's really interesting to see her go in, and I'm kind of excited. And I believe Piper's inducting her. And if you're a kid from the 80s, you know who Wendy Richter is. And Wendy Richter was part of the Rock and Wrestling Connection, and she was even in the cartoon. And she was a very prolific female wrestler in the 80s for the WWF, feuding with Muta constantly, and Mad Maxine they brought in. I remember to take her on, and she was, the first main woman wrestler that really got put over. And nothing against Moolah or anything, but she wasn't placed as a babyface, so she was always the heel, bad girl, So it's gonna be really interesting to see her go in, and I'm happy to see her go in because I think she deserves that, especially being that the WWE's Hall of Fame is mainly based on what you did in the business. So it's really nice to see her go in. Also, Stu Hart most likely is going in. I believe that probably Monday night we'll get the confirmation that Stu Hart's going to go in. And that'll probably be Vince's, oh, forgive me, Brett, we'll put your father in this year, which is nice to see. It'll be really a nice effort on Vince's behalf. And, the Hart family is just legendary. So it'll be nice to have two Harts in there, and hopefully one day we'll get Owen in there. I wouldn't mind if they actually put Davey Boy in this year. That would be a nice kick as well. Another rumor that I'm going to address was Ultimate Warrior was supposed to go in this year. I believe that was the original agreement that he was going to be the big draw this year, that Ultimate Warrior was going in. I actually found out today, prior to making this video, that Ultimate Warrior has backed out of the deal and will not be going into the Hall of Fame this year. There goes Jim Hellwig for you. The Warrior, the One Warrior Nation. Does he care about the fans? I guess not, because I wasn't a big Warrior fan, but I would have liked to have seen him go into the Hall of Fame. It would have showed a little of, once again, this whole forgiveness thing we got going on this year. Randy Savage is somebody else I would love to see go in the Hall of Fame, but all the rumors about him and Vince, what happened, why they don't talk about Savage, but they did release a DVD, so you got to kind of hope in the back of your mind that maybe in a couple of years or so, we would get to see Randy Savage go into the Hall of Fame and get the accolades he deserves, because Randy Savage was just phenomenal. Talk about a couple other little things real quick. Is TNA going head to head pretty soon with Raw? Is the Monday Night War is going to start again? And I don't see it happening. I don't think TNA has enough going into it, and they just think because they put Hogan and Flair on TV in the main event spot that it's going to draw. And I'm not saying it's not, but it's not going to be a draw for me. And I will be tuning into Raw to watch Steve Austin and maybe Flick on it just to see how out of shape people are and maybe kind of make fun of them. And I'm not saying that in a negative way to be negative about them as people or anything, but it's just a simple fact that I have no interest in seeing Flair or Hogan bump around the fucking ring anymore. I've seen it. I really don't care about it anymore. And TNA has all this great young talent, but yet they don't use them. You had the Motor City Machine Guns, AJ Styles, Abyss, and you took the spoiler. All right, if you don't want to hear it, I believe they took the mask off Abyss. What the fuck is the point of that? It's just ridiculous. Abyss is your Undertaker, and you're doing this to him. I really don't. It doesn't make sense to me. They just got so much great talent. A lot of guys from all over the independents. They just Nigel McGuinness, Desmond Wolfe, whatever you want to call him, great wrestler, great on the mic, great in ring. What more can you want? And yet he's getting beat by D'Angelo Dinero, which is fine because he's another great athlete. And no, nothing against him. I see a better wrestler and a better mic man in my eyes is Desmond Wolfe. Homicide as well. I love Homicide, and I think he's one of the best wrestlers out there today. He might be small, but he could sell a match and really get the fans going. And I would like to see him put more in a dominant singles role, even as a X Division champion again, or just something. Because Homicide is really that good, and he could really get a crowd riled up, and he's good at it. Also, another quick note is tonight's the debut of Next NXT. Daniel Bryant and all these guys from FCW coming up and getting their shot. I'm excited for it, and I haven't been excited to watch something on a Tuesday night wrestling related in a very long time. If you've seen my past video about ECW's departure, very excited to see what Next has to offer and to see one of my favorite wrestlers, Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryant, make his debut on WWE TV. I'm going to do another video later on, probably after Next, talking about Next, as well as another video talking about Monday Night Raw, which I thought was pretty good, and it's really building up WrestleMania. We got quite a few matches set up, so I'm going to talk about that later. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Straight Shooting. It's all the work. I'd like to give a shout out to T. Also, the websites I go to are WrestleView and PWI Insider. Very good websites, and I also highly recommend Aura Video for your shoot interviews and your independent wrestling source. Thank you.